The date, September 14th, 2022. Welcome to the JK18 channel. Make sure you click on that subscribe. I have my morning coffee, and I'm thrilled to be having that. Put a little too much, it's not coffee-cated enough, but, you know. Yeah. You already knew that from the title of the video, that the pool has been closed. And that's what it looks like. And we have things to discuss. I'm on the shrooms hard. I got 3 of them there and 2 more here. This one looks like he's not too happy anymore. They just started popping up out of nowhere, and I gotta pick them, and hopefully they won't spread anymore. But the pool is closed. Truck rolled up today, maybe a little before 9, and they were done by 10 a.m. So they get out of the truck, they bring their stuff into the back, and 2 guys come in. There was the guy who's filling the water bags. Now, if you remember last year, I had like an Indian guy who was filling the water bags, and the other guy was like a white guy who didn't get laid the night before. That was not the case. You might remember 2 years ago, I think it was, that I had some guy who was awesome. He walked in along with a Spanish guy. So we had Jesse, who was the guy, the cool guy, and Luis, who filled up the water bags. Luis was great. He just stayed quiet, did his thing, gave him the hose. That's all. He didn't complain. He didn't say this is taking so long. He didn't give any crap about anything. He just did what he was supposed to. And meanwhile, Jesse went over to the pumps. It is eerily quiet. This was, again, the guy that was awesome. He goes and he gets his little blowout thing. I asked him, I said, that cover you got there with the blowout, I said, do you make those, or are they for sale? He says, oh, we just make them. And he showed me some sort of above ground pool fitting, and he drills a hole in a cover and puts all that in. He says, I don't know if you could buy them. I did a quick Google search before they showed up, and I didn't get much in the way of results. It kind of looks like it's one of those things you got to cobble together yourself. But anyway, yeah, he came in here. He knew just what to do. He put tape on that. No tape on here. Tape on that. No tape on that, which is fine. This way it kind of stays open to the air. All valves are shut here. Left shit alone that didn't need to be touched. This one, the chlorinator, he did loosen the fittings, and I'm like, no, you can just leave it there, man. He's like, no, I just got to get the water out. And he went and he took the little plug out the bottom, and he just loosened them slightly, tipped it forward, and oh yeah, a lot more water came out. He even opened it up and to check if there were any chlorine tabs in there. He says, I can't even tell you how many times I go to somebody's house and the thing is just filled with chlorine tabs. So people obviously don't watch my videos enough to know how much chlorine you actually need. And he went and he did his thing, and he just undid all the lines. He hooked up the blower thing, and he turned it on. I said, oh, hang on, I got to get the solar open. He's like, yeah, no problem. Just like last time. And I went in a little box here, and I turned it on, went to the other side of the house, and I opened the solar drain, and I already had drained that just gravity from the other day, but with the blower, it was chooching water out without a question. This, like I said, has been leaking. You can see the chlorine deposits and whatever else on that. So that'll never go away. Maybe next year we'll replace that. He put tape on the thing where the gauge goes in. No tape at the bottom where the bung goes. That's fine, because that generally has been the practice. And he let me open the solar. And then, you know, 2-3 minutes later, I went to check it. It wasn't blowing any more water out, so I shut it. I said, okay, I just shut the solar down, went to the other side of the house, closed that valve, and then he did his thing, and they came back over to the pool, and they're putting the plugs in, so he's going to do that, and he's working that out and putting all the plugs in, and then he would go and pull a plug and get whatever excess water out of that line that was there, put it back in, pull another one, put that back in, and did an absolutely exemplary, thorough job. Blew out the main drain because it got all the bubbles in there. Blew out the skimmers, all that. In fact, I even asked him about how I said that last year when I opened, no water in there, but there was water in here. All right, well, that was close enough. We'll let that one go without any problem. Yeah, so I said that this had no water in it whatsoever, and he knelt down and took a good look in there, and he says, well, I don't see anything physically wrong, but we can do a pressure test of that when you open. You can have us come back and test that, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, that's something to think about. I don't know. I said, because I had to put water in the pool like almost once a week or so. I said, but it was really hot out, so that definitely contributed to it. And still nice. It's 80 degrees practically. Look, this was what I had 2 years ago when the guy was here. He's like a fucking perfectionist. Look at these nice corners. He didn't use the little straps on the thing and let leaves go under it. No. He did it all right. Everything is laid out nice. He even went and like fixed this 6 times and made it all nice. Just like that. Just going right around. Everything perfect. I don't care about the little straps hanging out. Who cares? Over here, made a nice 90-degree corner. I mean, absolutely exemplary job. I put the pool noodle on the edge here. You can kind of see the hump right there, and that's that. And the two guys just worked together, did their thing, put the leaf nets on. He didn't say nothing, he didn't complain. As far as the water bags went, Louis said, oh yeah, there was actually a funny thing. He said, this one, man, you know, only one side. So I'm like, that's fine, it still half works. And Jesse, the cool guy, was like, yeah, nothing wrong with that. This one too is knackered. But, you know, he's like, oh, kind of missing some water bags and whatnot. So I said, all right, I got some. I figured I'd be nice, you know. And I went and I got my stash and got out a pack of 5. They used all 5. This one's brand new. That one's brand new. That one's brand new. So there were quite a few that were knackered. It happens. That's all right. And he's saying, oh, I might need 1 or 2 more. And I figured I'd just keep quiet and see what happens. He went to the truck and showed up with 2 more. They used 1 of them. He might have just been that kind of a guy that will just let that go and not charge me. As far as putting the leaf nets on that allegedly there's a charge for, that there's not a charge for, or hasn't ever been. I don't know if it was just the dick from last year, but being that I knew this guy and I knew the quality of his work and how awesome he was, you know, they finished everything up, closed it up. He went back to where the pumps live. He did a final inspection of everything, saying, yep, good, right, everything all there. And then he went and rolled the hose up, too, with the Roll-O-Matic 3000. Now, the Roll-O-Matic 3000 is not doing well. I think it doesn't like the purple garlic hose. I'm not sure. I think there's just too much hose on it. So I was like, oh, I got to kind of help this thing. But, yeah, so I just, you know, helped it along, and that was that, did all that. And he says, okay, you're all set. And Luis, when he got here, he started, you know, getting to work. So he had like a hat and something else, I don't know what it was, and he hung it right over here. That's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. So he hung it right on there, and then he left, and I'm like, oh, I hope he took that. He did. So they were absolutely thorough and just did the damn job. Even if they want to bang for the damn leaf nets, you know, the service otherwise was well worth the price I was paying for it. So I asked him, I said, well, what about the bill? He says, oh yeah, we went paperless, so we're going to email you. I don't even know if they have my email, but either which way, we'll find out. Maybe they'll mail something out. Maybe they'll call. Maybe I'll call them because, you know, being that I got the services that I paid for, I'm more than willing to, of course, pay for them. And that's it. It's just all done nice and neat. Every now and again when Jesse was working, he would sort of whistle a little tune. And I said, isn't that Too Hot to Handle by the Black Crowes? He said, yeah. So I gave him a thumbs up. I was like, that's awesome. He seemed like the kind of guy. Blonde hair, kind of ponytail in the back, you know, the kind of, he's my kind of guy, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, he was just awesome. And at the end, I felt more than compelled to give him a tip. And fortunately, Luis went to the truck already. So I said, listen, this is for you, and if you want to split it with Luis, you can do whatever you want with that. That's totally up to you. Thank you very, very much, and we'll see you again next year. And that was it. They got back in their truck, and they left. And I got my coffee. Gonna need a second cup. There's not as much coffee in here as I would have liked. But make sure you go click that subscribe button right there. I don't sell these mugs. I bought this mug, so yeah. Anyway, that's it. A sad end. It's still a beautiful day out, but you know, the pool, XJoe81X was emailing me. He's like, it's still pool weather. Why are you closing the pool? And I said, you know, yesterday, like, I checked the temperature of the water. It was just barely 80. Now, that's not bad. I've been in it somewhere in the 70s before. Like, 78 isn't bad. 75, I think, was not this year, but last year on the 4th of July. And we all went in. It was fine. Lex and the Whiff and I, we all went in. It was good. So, yeah, I could still go in. But, you know, another thing that it really comes down to is the cost to run it. I'm no stranger whatsoever to high electric bills. It was deathly hot over this summer, so I knew it was going to be high. And it was higher than I've ever seen before. I'm not happy, but I have to pay it, and I did. So I paid the bill, and that's it. But, you know, it costs money to run. That's a 2-horsepower pump. And to run that for 12 hours a day, it's costly. It really is. So, you know, get to shut that down. The chlorine tabs, a bucket of them. I once had the math on this worked out, but a bucket of them is $250 now, which is ridiculous. And if you work that out, I do 6 tabs a week. I forget how many tabs are in there. I think it was something like $8 to $10 a week just in chlorine that I'm putting in. So if I had to leave it running for another week, it's another $8 or $10. Now, that's not going to break the bank, of course, but still, you know, if I ran it for another month, that's $40, $35, $40. So it adds up. You know what I'm saying? It kind of had its time. It lived its day. I haven't been in the pool in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. We kind of had a cool down in August sometime, and then it warmed back up, and I still went in and that. And it just got to the point where here we are, middle of September now, and I can just tell with the way the sun comes in, the way the sun is coming down, even now, I get that eerie feeling, that back to school feeling. And I know that summer's days are numbered. I mean, the summer season officially ends in less than 10 days from now. It's not that you can't run the pool further in this area. You can. You could run all the way up till November, even December if you wanted, depending how cold you want it to be. But it was just kind of time. And I've left it open till October before. That's really too long, because then it runs for practically another month than it needs to. Could I have gone to next week this year? Yeah, I could have, and that would have been fine, but it was just getting to be time, and that's it. And another way I can tell, obviously the what do you call it, it's the flame lights around the pool are no more because they had to go away. They're just sitting on the table now because I didn't want to kill off the whole backyard yet, so I left all the other solar lights. Those are still there and all that. But even now, the backyard usually is not this shady, even at this time of morning. So I can tell with the way the sun comes in and stuff like that, that it's really, you know, it's time. And especially when the sun makes its way over for the afternoon and comes in this way, it comes in, it used to come like right over the fence, but now that the season is changing, the sun is more over there in that direction than it was over here. And I can just see just the way the sun comes through the trees that the days are done. And the solar lights show it, because I could wake up at 5 a.m. and in the height of the summer, these lights are still on. Now their batteries are running low and they're dim and that, but they're otherwise chooching. But now I could wake up at 3 in the morning and everything's out. Everything has gone out. It's had enough. Granted, they're old. The solar panels are faded and that. So they're not getting as much sun as they used to. And the batteries, of course, are quite worn. So it is what it is, you know. It lived its day, and that's it. I didn't even have to break down the bird bath. These guys were just awesome. They just worked around what was here. No complaints. Did the work. Thank you very much with a smile. And the only thing that I'm left with is just this box. And in this box is a dead water bag or 2 or 4. I don't know. I just kind of dragged it over here. And the empty bottles of shit. And whatever other garbage here. 5 bottles. Super Shock. Probably another one here. Maybe. Super Shock. Swimming pool antifreeze. Winterizer. Liquid winterizer. And that's it. So these all get cycled. And, I mean, these are recycle buckets, but I don't use them as such because I keep them out by the side of the garage. So I'll just put this in the appropriate things, and that'll do it, and that'll wrap it up and wrap up the pool season for 2022. A sad end, but at least it ended on a happy note where the pool was closed nicely and everything was done, you know, well to my satisfaction. And that pretty much is just going to end the pool season for this year. And that's all there is to it. So it was a great run. We had our ups and downs this year with the cord failing where it went in the pump. I know the capacitor is knackered. This is that blue piece of PEX. One bolt right there. Maybe on the other side. Yep. There's one on the other side. Caps in there. 2 wires, done. You know, I just got to look it up and see. What I'll do is I'll open it and find which one it is and then order it and get that in and work on it and replace it before it's time to install the pump for next year. So that's going to wrap this up. I thank you very much for watching, and I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Quick update. That's right. I sat down to edit this video because that's typically what I do after I record one. And the phone rang, and it was the place that closed the pool. And they said, we went to this new system and we just want to go over some information with you. And we will then email your bill out because we don't have your email address on file, which I had mentioned. So I gave her all the information and she entered that in. And sure enough, not 2 minutes after I got off the phone with her, I got a notification that an email came in and the bill was 100% spot on, exactly where it should have been. And this just went really, really well this year. So I'm very happy about that. It looks like I can actually pay this by credit card also and earn points with that. So that's even better. So that is pretty much it. All around, a very good experience this time. The price, of course, was higher because inflation. But there's nothing I can do about that. And it doesn't seem that anybody else in the country is doing a damn about that either. Oh, well, we'll just have to carry on and hope that things one day might turn around. They won't, but there's always that hope. Anyway, thanks again. Take care.